Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment of our program brought to you by Safety Systems. I was over there this week, as a matter of fact. If you haven't ever been by there, you should call VFL JJ Surlis and set up a meeting at their showroom. You'll be blown away by what they can do. If you're building a home, be sure to have your construction company call Safety Systems at the start of your project. Okay, we're breaking down the Vols 2016 roster, and as we prepare for our 14th season here at the Sports Source, we thought it'd be fun to ask a number of different questions. In this segment, we get to who is the most likely player to have a breakout performance. And here is how we voted that among the kaboom. It's a breakout performance. 4 of us said Rashaan Gaulden, who, of course, missed last year with an injury. The other had Preston Williams, who wound up number 7 on our top 10 list. Guys, thoughts on Gaulden, Williams as your breakout player for the year?
I went with Gaulden just simply because last year when he got hurt in the summer, you could almost tell by interviews with the coaches that this was a huge loss for them. Mm-hmm. And so that's the reason I think, once again, I'm kind of going with the potential thing. Well, it's hurt our defense. It's done a lot of things. So I'm kind of going with potential. But I think if he was that big of a loss last year on a better team, he should be that big of an addition back into it this year.
It'll be interesting to see how well he does, because last year when he got hurt, we made a lot of it. I think the media made quite a bit out of it. But the response was a little bit of, nickelback is where he's playing last year. So how big of a deal could that be? Not realizing that a nickelback's on the field.
42% of your defense?
Yeah, a huge chunk of your defense. So if he puts forth a big number this year, or big outing this year, I think it's going to have some people saying, wow, I wonder what he could have done if he were on that team last year and healthy. Preston Williams, Rashaan Gaulden, guys. Anybody can jump in and talk about either of these guys?
Well, I went Preston Williams. I think he's a very gifted receiver. I think he's matured a lot. I think as a freshman, he had a lot of growth that he needed to experience, and I think he's done that. I like what I saw out of him in the spring. I think he's got good hands. I think he can be a deep ball threat. Imagine that, a deep ball threat at Tennessee. We'll see.
Been a while.
But he's got the speed. He's got all the elements that you want. And I think that he's ready to have a big year. I think he'll lead the team in yards per catch. He may lead them in yards, period. And I think he's ready to have a big season.
All right, let me hear from my Rashaan Gaulden guys down here.
I went with Gaulden because I think he could be a huge upgrade for Tennessee's defense. I thought Randolph and McNeil were solid last year, but as Bob indicated, the coaches seemed devastated when Gaulden went down. And if he can come in and kind of be that eraser guy on the back and really upgrade the speed and hitting and be an enforcer back there, I think it could help improve Tennessee's defense significantly.
Russell, didn't you see what Brian Randolph benched at
yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
And he had better hair.
Yeah, that's true. And a great interview, too. No, Preston Williams was the other guy I thought about, but I went with Rashaan Gaulden as well. And I think he's going to give you range. He's going to give you the ball hawking ability now at 2 safety positions, because we know Todd Kelly Jr. can find the football. And I know Evan Berry was assumed to have that position, but I think it's Rashaan Gaulden. He can run, he can hit, he's smart. And Bob Shoop, who didn't coach him last year, I think has a little bit more of a raw, more sincere response. When you talked about him in the spring, he was like, "Ooh, man, he's a player now." And I think that natural reaction tells you they really, really like him.
And you know what you get here on the Sports Source every Sunday? A raw, sincere response. There you go. Vince Ferrara. All right. It's perfect. We ran through it, and we left plenty of time to talk about our last question, and that is, who still has something to prove? Who aren't we completely sold on? 3 different players got votes. One of them was Derek Barnett. We'll discuss. Come on back on the Sports Source.